Alright, folks, now that you've had a couple of weeks to either reacquaint yourselves or get acquainted with our beloved Marine Lab, let's dive into the nitty-gritty of our lab duties. You know, the stuff that keeps this ship sailing smoothly. This presentation is all about those responsibilities that we all share to ensure our lab doesn't turn into a scene from a horror movie. So, grab your goggles, and let's make sure we're all on the same page about what it takes to keep our aquatic paradise thriving. Just a friendly nudge that if you're looking to sign up for a tank, the magic happens in the second week of the semester. If you find yourself tankless and in dire need of one, don't be shy. Reach out to Dr. Parton or our head coordinator. We're here to ensure you're not left high and dry without your very own tank. Seriously, you don't want to miss out on all the tanktastic fun. So, give us a holler, and we'll kickstart your tank adventure. Alright folks, first things first, if you're heading into the Marine Lab, make sure you've got a key. We need to keep that door locked tighter than a clam at high tide. This isn't just my quirky rule. It's all about following the Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee, IACUC, and the Environmental Health and Safety, EHS, guidelines. They're serious about biosecurity, folks. Now, if you think you might want to pop in on the weekends, grab an exterior key too. And if you need access to the research lab across the hall, that's room 229. The storage room is 228, just in case you need to stash some stuff. But don't forget, the Marine Lab is room 209. Make sure you get that key. If you haven't done it yet, do it now. The door will be locked whenever you're not in there. And if you're the last one to leave, please, for the love of all things aquatic, don't leave the door wide open. Close it, lock it up tight. This is super important, people. Let's keep our lab safe and sound. Alright folks, gather around because we need to talk about the group messaging situation. If you're part of the lab crew, yes, that means all of you. Make sure to hop on the group me for everyone. It's like the VIP lounge for lab communication. And let's not forget our fabulous coordinators. They've got their own special group, me, where they share all the top secret lab intel. Now, if you ever find yourself in a pickle and can't locate me, don't panic. Send a message to group me and someone will help. As a last resort, reach out to Dr. Nevis or Susan in the stockroom, 230 Life Sciences. They're like the lab's superhero, always ready to swoop in and save the day. So, sign up, stay connected, and remember, help is just a message away. Let me give you the lowdown on our little operation here. So, picture this. Me and the head honcho, the head coordinator, standing tall at the top of our glorious pyramid. Below us, we've got a bunch of other coordinators, like a well-organized family tree, but with less drama and more spreadsheets. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is it always this way? Well, not exactly. This is just the blueprint I whipped up in my spare time. The grand plan is for all of us to pitch in and help each other out, like a big happy family, minus the awkward Thanksgiving dinners. So here's the scoop. We've got all these coordinators ready to roll, and they're going to be the superheroes for our 3,700 aquarium husbandry folks and beyond. They're like the Avengers, but instead of saving the world, they're saving fish and making sure everything runs smoothly. Now, I've got a list of all these coordinators right here. You guys can check it out in the syllabus. Yes, I know, everyone's favorite reading material. But don't worry, I've got a condensed version for you. It's like the highlights reel of our coordinators, complete with their superpowers and the systems they're overseeing. So, buckle up, because teamwork makes the dream work, and we're all in this together. Alright, folks, let's dive into the thrilling world of tank signups. If I click on this magical link here, remember that tank sign-up sheet? Well, if you scroll to the right, you'll see. Drumroll, please. A couple of tanks are still open for business. Now, find your name, and let's start scrolling across this digital wonderland. Ah, there it is. Table 3, featuring the illustrious cherry shrimp. And guess what? It's tank 17. We're rolling with Nathan on this one. He's going to be feeding these little guys some shrimp food. We're estimating about 30 of them in there. Counting them is like trying to count stars, but let's go with 30 for now. And his lab coordinator? The one and only Paige. She's your go-to gal for any questions. Of course, you can always reach out to me or Xavier if you need backup. Now, Paige's email is right here, and I'm not sure if she set up a group me for the table or any other fancy communication tools. But hey, at least you've got her email. As for your lab duty, you're on dish duty, my friend. Now, For those of you assigned to tanks 18, 19, and 20, you'll be the feeding stations. And that's how you figure out your job. Hopefully, you've been in touch with your coordinators, and they've sorted out this new system because, let me tell you, this is a whole new ball game compared to last year. All right, folks, gather around because we're diving into the wild world of lab coordinators. You know, those unsung heroes who keep the science wheels turning. Ever wondered how to track them down? Well, let me tell you, it's easier than finding a needle in a haystack. If that needle was wearing a lab coat and had a clipboard. So, buckle up, because we're about to embark on a hilarious journey of discovery. As you step into the lab, the first thing you'll notice is the tank on your left. It's like a welcome mat, but with a twist. You've got the species list, the infamous death log. Yes, we keep track of those unfortunate little guys, and all the juicy details right there. And guess what? This year, we're going high-tech with QR codes. That's right, no more squinting at tiny print. Just whip out your phones, give that QR code a scan, and voila, you'll have the species list at your fingertips, just like signing up. Easy peasy, right? Now let's dive in. Today, we're diving into the wild world of lab duties. You know, those tasks that make you feel like a mad scientist, minus the crazy hair and questionable ethics. First up, we have the classic cleaning the lab duty. It's like a treasure hunt, but instead of gold, you find mysterious stains and unidentifiable substances. Who knew that a beaker could hold so many secrets? Next, we have the data entry task. Ah yes, the joy of typing numbers into spreadsheets. It's like playing a game of Tetris, but instead of blocks, you're stacking data points. And let's not forget about the equipment maintenance duty. You get to play mechanic for a day, fixing machines that seem to have a personal vendetta against you. And finally, we can't overlook the safety checks. This is where you get to don your lab coat like a superhero cape and ensure that everything is up to code. Remember, folks, safety first. Unless, of course, you're trying to impress your lab partner with your mad pipetting skills. Then, all bets are off. So, buckle up, because lab duties are not just chores. They're an adventure waiting to happen. All right, folks, let's dive into the world of special jobs. Now, I won't bore you with the nitty-gritty details of what everyone on this list is up to because, let's be honest, they probably already know their tasks better than I do. We're talking about some complex roles here. First up, we have the head coordinator. Sounds fancy, right? Then there's the outreach coordinator. And let's not forget about our quarantine expert. I really need to have a chat with this person. Maybe we should rope in a few more folks to help with the quarantine situation. And of course, we can't overlook social media, because who doesn't love a good meme? Oh, and there's the lab across the hall, which is home to the research in case you were wondering. Lastly, we have the whiteboard and laundry duties, because every special job needs a little bit of mundane mixed in. So there you have it, a quick rundown of our special jobs. Who knew they could be so special? Welcome to the bleach bucket extravaganza. This is our first job, and let me tell you, it's crucial for keeping our lab spick and span. Think of it as our secret weapon against disease. Without our trusty bleach bucket system, we might as well invite germs to a party. Now, we've got 3 buckets here, but I'm thinking we might need a 4th. Maybe a big empty one for all the items that need a good bleach bath before they can rejoin the party. This bucket here, it's the bleach bucket, and it's on a strict diet. We should drain it every week or so and give it a fresh dose of bleach. And over here, we have sodium thiosulfate, which also needs a little TLC every now and then. Now let's talk about teamwork. I'm passing the baton to the coordinator to assign specific jobs. For instance, on table 2, we have a superstar whose job is to take all the dry items that have been draining and put them back where they belong. Another hero will be in charge of transferring stuff from the sodium thiosulfate bucket to the drain bucket, refilling it weekly with fresh sodium thiosulfate. And let's not forget our bleach bucket guardian, who will be responsible for taking items out of the bleach bucket and placing them in the designated area. The key here is to keep everyone engaged and ensure that each person has a clear, specific role. That way, we can all contribute to the cleanliness of our lab and keep those pesky germs at bay. Let's get to work. Let's talk about our eye wash station. Now, I know it might not be the most glamorous topic, but trust me, it's important. So, here's the deal. We need someone to take charge and run this thing at least once a week. Seriously, it's like giving your car an oil change. You don't want to wait until it's too late. Imagine getting something in your eye and finding out this station hasn't been flushed in 5 years. Yikes. That's like a horror movie waiting to happen. Mold, weird goo, and who knows what else lurking in there. So, let's keep it fresh and clean. Flush it out weekly, every single week. Got it. Let's keep those peepers safe and sound. The Bleach Bucket Brigade is about to embark on a grand adventure. Now, most of the items you see here are destined for this table, and I need you to channel your inner Marie Kondo. Keep it neat, keep it organized. Let's not turn this into a chaotic art installation, all right? If you find yourself scratching your head, wondering where on earth to put everything, just holler. I'm here to help you navigate this organizational maze. Remember, you're not just a bystander. You're the proud custodian of this table. Let's make it shine. All right, folks, take a look at this delightful chaos. It may seem like a big ol' mess, but trust me, it's all part of the fun. If you're feeling cramped or need a new spot, just holler. Now, over here, we've got all the goodies that have been through the bleach bucket. Yes, they're dry and ready for action. Now, let's talk about these filters you're going to be assembling. I've got a video lined up for you, so don't worry. For those of you with a hang-on back filter, you'll find the sponges right here. And guess what? Filter floss is hiding in there too. But wait, there's more. Inside this box, which you can't see right now, are the filter media and biomedia tucked away in their little bags. It's like a treasure hunt, but instead of gold, you get clean water. So roll up your sleeves and let's dive into this adventure together. All right, folks, let's dive into the thrilling world of sweeping and mopping. Now, we've got our designated sweepers and moppers, and let me tell you, this is crucial business. So, here's the scoop. I snapped a pic to help you out. Most of you know where the mop buckets and brooms are stashed, but just a heads up, there's another mop bucket hiding in the back room 209A, which we affectionately call the back room. It's where the big bats hang out. Feel free to raid that stash. There's a broom in there that's looking a bit worse for wear, but don't worry, there's a treasure trove of brooms, dustpans, and mops waiting for you. Now, let's be real. This room is a disaster zone. I've included a little map to guide you. The mop buckets are chilling over to the right in the corner, along with the brooms and all that jazz. Let's get to work and make this place shine. Welcome to the feeding station, folks. Now, I've added a little extra task for you, but don't worry, it won't take long. Let's keep this area spick and span, shall we? That includes all the goodies in this bucket. Nets, grabbers, and who knows what else. And just a heads up, that white powder. It's mostly baking soda, not a secret ingredient for your next culinary masterpiece. I've cleared out all the reef additives, so it's just the feeding station now. There are some items down here that could use a little TLC. And those drawers? They could use a fresh coat of paint. If anyone's feeling artsy, go for it. Just make it look nice, all right? Inside this drawer, you'll find some airlines. Please leave those be. I actually use them. But feel free to toss anything that's just taking up space. Cleaning out is pretty straightforward, right? Let's make this place shine. All right, folks, let's talk about the siphons. They're like the party guests that just won't leave. Everywhere you look, there's a siphon. I mean, I even threw in a picture of a trash can for good measure, but it's not the one I wanted. Anyway, most of these siphons are hanging out above the trash cans. And let me tell you, they're having a blast up there. We've got some chilling on the wall, some in the back, and a few on the other side of the fridge, just living their best lives. So here's the deal. We need to organize this siphon shindig. Let's come up with a system, folks. And don't get me started on those Python hoses. They're just lying around like they own the place. I want you all to take care of this, all right? Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, let's do a little tidying up. Straighten things out. Make sure our siphons and hoses are looking sharp and orderly. Let's keep this place neat, because a tidy workspace is a happy workspace. All right, folks, gather round. We've got a new gig here, and it's a big one. Like, bigger than my last attempt at baking a cake. We're talking about the sink and dishes situation, which, let's be honest, looks like a tornado hit a dish factory. We've never had anyone tackle this before, and it's crying out for some TLC. So, here's the deal. You're going to need to whip up your own system. We had a few brave souls here over the summer who tried to keep things in order, but if you need some inspiration, just holler. Now, picture this. I stacked a couple of buckets, added a dish rack, and a drain tray. The idea was that you wash the dishes, and the water flows back into the sink. Genius, right? But we're not just talking about dishes here. We've got all the sinks, cutting boards, tongs, knives, basically everything that could use a good scrub. And let's be clear, soap and water are your best friends here. Rinsing and tossing things back into the cutting block. Not on my watch. This is your mission, should you choose to accept it. Come up with a system to keep all 4 sinks and the mountain of dishes above the fridge in tip-top shape. I know it's a bit chaotic right now, but that's where you come in. If you need help figuring out where to put everything or how to make it all work, just give me a shout. Right now, we've got a system that's more like a free-for-all, and we need to change that. Oh, and just to clarify, there's a sink over there. And yes, that's the one on top of the fridge that's also part of your domain. If you're scratching your head about how to use the siphons, I'm your go-to person. And don't forget about this area here. It might need a little love too. So, let's roll up our sleeves and get to work on this dish disaster together. Welcome to the testing station, folks. It's like a spa day for your equipment, but with fewer cucumbers and more calibration. First things first, let's keep this place spick and span. Wipe it down like it's your grandma's dining room table. No crumbs allowed. Now, let's talk about our trusty Sharps bucket. We've got a small Sharps container and a big broken glass container. When they start looking like they're ready for a retirement party, give someone a shout so we can swap them out. We don't want any surprise glass confetti, do we? Next up, we've got our refractometers. These little guys need a monthly calibration. Think of it as their monthly checkup. And don't forget about the pH meters. They can be a bit temperamental, so let's keep an eye on them. If they start acting up, we might need to send them to the equipment therapist. Remember, cleanliness is next to godliness, so let's wipe everything down every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And keep that calibration schedule tight, at least once a month. Let's keep this testing station in tip-top shape, team. Welcome to the world of live plankton. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a big job, and you're right. But hold on to your hats because we're about to dive into the exciting realm of aquaculture. Ignore that plywood over there. It's for a different project. Right here is where the magic will happen. We're going to start breeding some fascinating creatures. Think sea urchins, shrimps, and snails. But wait, there's more. Over in this corner, we'll be focusing on our plankton. The secret sauce to a successful aquaculture facility is all about culturing phytoplankton and zooplankton. We'll kick things off with phytoplankton, and while we won't jump into zooplankton just yet, we will have brine shrimp. Yes, they count as a very basic zooplankton. Not the most nutritious snack for our aquatic friends, but with a little gut loading, they'll do just fine. So, our main focus will be on plankton and phytoplankton. We're not going to build a rack for this. We'll buy one instead. Trust me, building it would take a lot of effort, and I'll need to recruit some helpers this semester. Now let's talk about inspiration. This setup is inspired by the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium's aquaculture facility. It may not look like much, just 4 vats, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's all part of the plan. We're going to recreate this setup, and their plankton cultures are extensive. We'll add zooplankton later, but for now, cleanliness is key. Everything must be squeaky clean and sterile, including the water. We'll need a water pasteurizer, and they have a whole sterilization center for jars and equipment. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of that later, but trust me, it's going to be a big job. Get ready for some aquatic adventures ahead. Welcome to the research room, where the magic of plankton culturing happens. Now, I must say, it looks like someone has turned this place into a bit of a storage unit. I mean, seriously, there's more stuff in here than at a yard sale. So, we might need to do a little rearranging. Who knew culturing plankton could come with a side of Tetris? Let's roll up our sleeves and dive into this aquatic adventure. Welcome to the stockroom, folks. We've got 2 of these bad boys, and some lucky souls are going to be in charge of. Drumroll, please. 209A. Yes, that's the back room of the Marine Lab, or as I like to call it, the land of the big vats. It's usually pretty tidy, but right now, let's just say it's a bit of a cluttered paradise after summer. So, we need to roll up our sleeves and get to work. First things first, there's a mountain of stuff back here that's just begging to be tossed. And let's not forget about the lights. If it's not LED, it's out of here. Seriously, I don't want it. Just toss it in the dumpster and let it find a new home. But hold your horses on those boxes. You know, the ones for the Neptune Trident and Apex gear? Don't even think about throwing those away. If we need to send anything back for repairs, they wanted in the original packaging. So keep those boxes safe and sound. Now let's get to straightening up this place. It's time to channel your inner Marie Kondo and make this stockroom sparkle. Who's ready to dive in? Welcome to the other stockroom. It's just across the hall, and let me tell